Hey there guys, today I'm back to reminisce a little bit over 2020. We can all agree that this was a very weird year, but I have this little calendar every year, which is Simon's cat, and on the back of every day I write something that made me happy or that was special about that day. And so I have a couple of them here, obviously not all of them, and I wanted to quickly go through with you through my year of 2020. This is such a great thing to do, to also look back on. And yeah, I think 2020 is a year that we probably won't forget and will forget quite quickly, if you know what I mean. So I thought this would be a great way to kind of preserve my experiences. So we're gonna start with this day, the 6th of January, where I finalized everything for getting my new car, because I got a new car in 2020, and obviously if I had known that I wasn't allowed to drive anywhere, I wouldn't have got it. But yeah, since I didn't know that in January, I was very happy to finalize everything. Then we have the 9th of January, and that was the day when I actually got the new car. So that was the day I picked it up, and it was very exciting because I had never bought a new car before, and you know, you get to drive it out of the kind of car salon thingy, and it was all very exciting. So yeah, that was some fun stuff. Moving along to this weekend in January, and that is where we did the first little trip with the car, and we went to a place nearby. It's like 30 kilometers, something like that. It's a little castle, and we just looked at the castle and had some nice cake there and stuff like that. So that was very, very lovely and a great way to welcome the car into our little family here. And then we have the 16th of January, and that was one of those days when I had just a nice lunch with some colleagues, and obviously since you know what happened in 2020, you will understand why this is like a fond memory now, because I don't remember when I had lunch with colleagues the last time. But yeah, that was the day when I had it, so nice to know that. Okay, then we're moving on to the next day, the 17th of January, which is when we went to Hamburg to have dinner in the dark. And that is a very, very interesting experience. I don't know if they do it in other cities as well, but this is basically to show you how it would be if you couldn't see. So if you've ever wondered what that would be like to kind of be blind, this is kind of, yeah, simulating that. And so you have dinner in a room where there's no light, which is quite crazy, and it was a very, very good experience, but also pretty crazy. And then for the rest of this weekend we were in Hamburg and just, yeah, looking at the city and stuff like that, which was very, very nice as well. Then again, the 22nd of January was again just a lunch with some colleagues, which was just nice. And yeah, I kind of missed that. You probably missed that too. And then we have my birthday weekend, which is when I had some friends over and we made sushi ourselves, and it was all very lovely. Looking back at that, it was also pretty stupid because me and my partner were sick during the time, and still all of my friends came over. Luckily, no one caught anything while being here because we were very, very cautious. But you know, knowing now what we do know now, that is COVID year, yeah, that was pretty stupid. I wouldn't do that again this year. So moving on to the 29th of January, that is when we watched Jojo Rabbit in cinemas. One of the very few cinema experiences we had, and one that I remember very fondly because Jojo Rabbit is an amazing movie. Then we have my second birthday weekend. Basically, that's when my family came to visit, and I'm always very happy to have my family here because, yeah, it's very rare. They only ever come for my birthdays, and this year they won't even do that. So, yeah, it's kind of sad, but it was nice to have them around last year. Then we're moving on to the 6th of February, and that is one of the days when I had to present what I'm doing for my PhD thesis, and it went really, really well. And I'm very, very proud of the progress I made this year, and yeah, that was basically the start of that. Then we have this weekend in February, and again, that is one that I wouldn't remember if it wasn't 2020, and we went swimming that day, which is something that we haven't done ever since. And also we made sushi again, which I always love sushi, so Then we have the 10th of February, and that was a very, very fun memory because for my best friend's 30th birthday, we all made little videos that were inspired by a Disney movie, and she would have to guess the movie. So that was the day when I did this movie with my partner and a friend, and we did a scene from The Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is my favorite Disney movie, so we had lots of fun. Then we have this weekend in February, which was the 30th birthday of my best friend. Obviously, I remember that very, very fondly. But the thing is that I had a very bad migraine, and I was so lucky that someone had actual medication for me because I wouldn't have survived the night otherwise. And then another cinema memory, the 27th of February, is when we watched The Gentleman, which I guess is my favorite movie that I saw in cinemas last year. It is fantastic. And yeah, I just miss going to the cinema so much. Okay, this is a weird one, but the 2nd of March is my father's birthday for one, but also it was the day when I got faster internet and I had no idea what was to come. So I'm so happy that in a spur of a moment I decided to get faster internet because obviously with all the online teaching I'm doing now, I really need that fast internet. Then we have the 4th of March, and this was basically the last normal week we had before we were all sent home. And so again, just a lunch with colleagues, probably the last one I had. And I remember that day very vividly because we were talking about how they wouldn't just send us all home. And then they did. So yeah, that was pretty crazy. So then we have the 13th of March, which was the day that Corona actually kind of happened where I live. So that was when lockdown started and where people actually started to take it seriously and we were all sent home. And yeah, that was pretty scary. I mean, I had never imagined that it would end like that. So yeah, 13th of March. Usually the 13th is my lucky day, but that was a weird day. And that was also like the last day I could have gone to work. So ever since I've been home, I've been working from home the whole time now. And yeah, I haven't really seen my colleagues a lot. So yeah, such a weird year. So we're skipping to the 22nd of March, and this is when I had a workshop which really saved my ass during March because, you know, going from your usual like office environment to home office is very hard. You don't have any contacts anymore. And so having this workshop really helped me a lot because I actually had contact with people. I was participating in something and I had very regular hours. So during that first 2 weeks of lockdown, this was a blessing. Okay, so then we have the 27th of March, and that is the day that the internet for my grandma arrived, which also was the weirdest thing because I had planned this for forever, but I've never actually managed to get my grandma internet. And that was just in February. I just sat down and I was like, I'm gonna do it now. And I did all the stuff and it worked out quite well. And so yeah, my grandma has internet now, and seeing how the world is now, that's very helpful. So yeah, then we have the Easter weekend, and yeah, this is the day where I finished the book Educated by Tara Westover, which for me was a very impactful read because it just taught me a lot about myself and a lot of things that I had gone through with my family life, and how, yeah, that was just... yeah, not just something that I went through, that there's other people who went through even worse things. Like, this book is horrifying, so I didn't live through things like that, but just the way her family treated her in the end, I could relate to a lot, and it just taught me that, you know, not everything is my fault, basically. So that was very important day for me. Then we have the 22nd of April, and this just stands for pretty much every day during spring and summer, which is just work. Like, I was working like crazy, especially in April. I was doing so many hours trying to get everything to work out online. We were teaching online and we didn't really have a heads up. So we started teaching in the middle of April and we were all sent home in the middle of March. So we basically had to learn how to do online classes within 3 weeks, I would say. So I was working my ass off, and I'm very proud of that and that it all worked out. And then this 29th of April also is not a single date, but just one of them. But I had very, very long phone calls with one of my colleagues all throughout the summer and the spring. And those, again, just helped me stay sane, because when you're always in home office, it is just very hard. So yeah, that was just really helpful to have one colleague to always talk to. And as I said, we had like super long phone calls. Sometimes we would talk for an hour, 90 minutes. So yeah, we had a lot to say. Okay, then we're moving on to the 30th of April, and that was also the weirdest day. Now, in the week before that, I had a mild panic attack in a store, and I didn't realize that, but I lost my credit card. And so on this day, I actually wanted to go grocery shopping and realized that my credit card was gone, and that it had been gone for almost a week, because obviously with lockdown, we weren't shopping that often. And some angel found my credit card and gave it to the store, and so they had it. And yeah, that was just such a relief, because nothing like that has ever happened to me. I've never lost something so important. So yeah, I was very, very relieved with that. And we're moving on to the 4th of May, so May the 4th, you know. And again, this was a Skype date with some of my colleagues, and it was when I learned that one of my favorite colleagues and also a friend, that she was pregnant, and she was having a baby, and by now the baby's actually here and everyone's healthy. And yeah, it's just so cool. I'm very happy for her, and I hope that, you know, with COVID hopefully soon being gone, they can have like a more normal family life. But yeah, I'm just very happy that even though the times were so weird, everything turned out super well in the end. So that was just, it was a weird day, but a nice day as well. Then we have the 8th of May, and this is again one of those memories that will only stick out in 2020 or maybe even 2021, because that was the day when I had the first haircut since lockdown began. So yeah, that had been a while. I wrote here 10 weeks. Usually I go to the hairdressers every 6 weeks, and I was very, very lucky that I was at the hairdressers right before lockdown came. So it was okay, but still it was a huge relief to be able to go to the hairdressers again. And now since December, they all had to close again, and I would have an appointment soon, but I don't think that will happen, so get used to this. Okay, this again, 13th of May, is just one of many of these memories, but we started doing fun kind of night out things on Zoom with some colleagues. So again, just something to keep you sane, being in the same place all the time. So that was lovely. And we started doing like pop quizzes, and I'm really bad at them, but I blame the guy who always did the questions, because those were just not my thing. Okay, then we have the 11th of June. And this was actually something that was a horrible memory, but something that I felt very proud of afterwards. And the night before, there was a party outside my house. And it wasn't supposed to be a party, so no one was informed. And I woke up in the middle of the night because someone tried to get into my apartment. Like, he had a key in the lock and he was trying to open my apartment door. And obviously it didn't work, it wasn't the right key. But you know, when you're a single girl waking up in the middle of the night with someone trying to mess with the lock of your front door, you die. Like, I was so scared. And so after that, I went to my neighbors and I told them what happened. And they apologized, but it just felt so good for me, because usually I don't like conflict. So to even go there and tell them, hey, that happened and it was very, very messed up, and I don't want this to happen again, because I practically died in my bed. That was just such a good feeling for me to realize that I could let it go after telling them that wasn't great, please don't do that again. So yeah, that was very helpful. Moving on to the 29th of June, and this was actually also a little bit of a weird story, but the biggest concern I had for the summer was how we were gonna do our exams, because we have exams with around 300 people, and I was pretty sure that I didn't want to do the exams in person with 300 people during COVID. So that was actually the day when they confirmed that there would be some kind of online exams that we could do with our students. So that was a huge relief for me, even though it meant a lot of work. It was a lot of work, but it was still better than getting COVID from your students. Okay, then we have this weekend in July, and that is my partner's birthday weekend. And what we actually did was we went to Leipzig, which is a city pretty close to where I'm from, and we met up with his siblings and their partners, and we had a picnic in a park, which was, yeah, something that only in 2020 would be like a remarkable thing. But yeah, we had a lovely day, and it was just so good to get out, to just go somewhere for once. So yeah, luckily by that time it was very, very easy to, you know, do things. Okay, and then on the 21st of July, the online exam had actually worked. I had worked out everything, and yeah, that was such a relief, to be honest. It was a horrible day. It was no fun at all to conduct this online exam, but it all worked out, and that was a big, big relief for me. Then we have this weekend in July, and that is where the reading rush ended. And if you remember, the reading rush ended a little bit on a weird note because of the group book situation, but I didn't read the group book, and I don't really like the hosts of the reading rush too much, so I was just glad that I had again managed to read 7 books in this week and was very happy with myself. Then we have this weekend in August, and during that time we actually again went to Hamburg and we visited the family of my partner because I think it was his mother's birthday, and it was a like bigger birthday, so not like many people celebrating, but just, you know, I don't know how you say it in English, like if you have like a 50th or 80th birthday or something like that, you know, just one of those bigger ones. So we decided to go there, and we decided to go there by car, which was not a great idea because we were stuck in traffic for hours. I think we were in the end like 2 hours late, and we already had like an hour yeah, we thought we might need. So yeah, it was very horrible. But we managed that, and it was a lovely day still. Then we have the 7th of August, and that was a day where I actually went to see my family before autumn because we were pretty sure that a second wave would be coming and then that there would be lockdowns again. So that was when I decided to go see my family for the summer, and I also met up with my best friend and we had some dinner. And yeah, luckily I did that. I'm very, very glad that I did that because it was exactly like I expected. We have this huge second wave now and everything's shut down again. Then we have the 10th of August, and that is the day where I think I started Miss Fisher, or maybe I was already a little bit into it. But Miss Fisher is one of those TV shows that is now one of my absolute favorites. Unfortunately, it only has 3 seasons, but it's such a good show, and it was something that really brought joy to me this year. And so I'm very grateful to everyone who was involved in making this amazing TV show. So if you haven't watched it, Miss Fisher is great. Okay, then we have this weekend in August, and that is where one of my friends visited me. Again, we were pretty sure that there would be a lockdown again, and so she was like, well, in the area where I live, we always have very, very few cases, and she was like, well, maybe it would be safe for me to come and see you. So she was here, it was lovely, it was a great time. And yeah, I'm just so glad that I had these like tiny moments with my family and friends where we could actually see each other, because most of my friends and my family live very far away from me. So yeah, this was just precious time to me, honestly. Then we have this weekend in August, and that is where the Scallywagathon ended. I did a ton of readathons last year, but honestly the Scallywagathon is a very fond in my mind because it was so much fun. They did these Twitter things that were so fun. I had a great time, and I hope that the Scallywagathon will happen again this year so I can participate again. And yeah, it was just so much fun. It's a really cool readathon. Then we have the 2nd of September. And that's actually the day when we did a little garden party here. Again, I invited some of my friends and we were in the garden eating some cake and playing some Cluedo. Yeah, one of those very few, very rare occasions where I actually saw my friends in real life. And it's stuck in my mind. I'm just so happy that these little glimpses even existed. And yeah, we were able to do at least some things. Then we have the 15th of September, and that was the day where I did my actual first presentation online. Like, this was for a scientific kind of congress. No, you call it something else, conference. And yeah, it was all online. It was very weird, but it worked out very well. It worked out well, let's say that. And yeah, I was very relieved that this happened. Then we have this weekend in October, and this is where we sat down and made the plan for my baking videos in December. So if you didn't know, I uploaded a baking video every single day in December leading up to Christmas. So I had 24 recipes to do, and we did it, and I'm very proud of that. It was a ton of work and I don't think it's worth it but I have so much fun doing this. So if you want, go check them out. They're obviously more like Christmassy recipes, but a lot of them just work well in winter overall. So if you want to support what I do, just go over to Baking Cooking Fun and check out those videos. Then we have this weekend in October, and this is actually again a day where I actually went out to see people because it was the birthday of one of my colleagues, and again he had a garden party, so everyone was outside and able to keep distance, and it was just nice to be out for a while. Like, we weren't there for very long, but it was just nice to do something, I guess. So yeah, it's weird that this is a happy memory of 2020. I was out of my house for once. Again, a similar memory is the 27th of October, where I actually went to my office quickly to get some things and I met one of my colleagues. Crazy, right? Like, who would have guessed that? After being in home office for like 6 months, I actually met one of my colleagues. Like, crazy. Okay, then we have this weekend, which was between October and November, and again, one of my friends came to see me here. We went for a very long walk together, yeah, which again was just lovely. She has a channel as well, but she's not really uploading, so I will link it below, but she's not uploading right now. Maybe she will come back, maybe she won't, who knows. But again, it was just nice to see my friends, honestly. And then we have the 2nd of November, which is actually the day I finished The Haunting of Bly Manor. And this show ruined me. Like, this was such a heart-wrenching TV show. I can't even believe it. I love it. And again, it brought me so much joy, but also so much pain. And it was just a great way to let go of some of these feelings. So yeah, it worked quite well in 2020, I would say. Then we have this weekend. I don't know if it's the exact weekend because honestly I lost count, but it was one of the weekends, and I think the first one when it was announced that Biden won the election, which might not seem like a big deal for someone living in Germany, but it is my dream to one day work in the US for an amount of time, not forever, but maybe a year or two. So it is good to know that, you know, Trump isn't there anymore. I'm not the biggest fan of Biden, but honestly, I would have voted anything over Trump if I could. So yeah, I was very happy to see that. Then on the 25th of November, I finished reading Les Miserables, which honestly was such an achievement. It's like the longest classic I've ever read. And yeah, I just felt so good having read this massive book. And I think this year I might try to read Anna Karenina, but no promises yet, but I think I will try that. Then we have this weekend at the end of November, where again it was the last weekend where I was allowed to go see my family, so I luckily had planned to do that anyway. And I was so happy that I got the chance to see my family again once. It was a very, very big risk, but the thing is that we're all not leaving our house. Like, we're all stuck at home, apart from my mom, who has to go to work, but everyone else is at home. So we're all pretty safe as long as we don't go outside. So luckily it worked out for me and my family that I could go and visit them again. But yeah, I mean, counting that all together, I've been home this year for 3 times, I think, which is crazy to me. And I don't want 2021 to be the same, so I hope that they will hurry up with all the vaccinations. Okay, then we have the 14th of December. We're almost through, and that was the day when I again presented what I did this year for my PhD thesis, and I got such great feedback. I was so happy. Like, one of my colleagues who is really, really good at what he's doing, he actually said he liked what I'm doing, and I was like, oh my god, did he actually say that? So yeah, I was very, very happy that it went so well, and also, yeah, it just gave me hope that I might actually be able to finish this. So hopefully when I do this video next year, by now I will mention that I have finished my PhD thesis, but we'll see. A year is a long time, but it's not a lot of time, so. Okay, then we have the 23rd of December, which was the day when I brought the Christmas gifts to my best friend, and we unwrapped the gifts basically on her doorstep. But it was still very, very nice to actually see her again after August. Like, I had seen her last in August, so yeah, we gave each other the presents, and then I moved on, basically. It was very short, but still sweet, so I wanted to mention it. And then obviously we have the Christmas days where I visited my family, which was lovely. And again, I'm just so lucky that I was able to do that, and that we were all so safe that, you know, we felt comfortable doing that. And yeah. What is this year? What is it? So last day now, the 30th of December, and that is the day I finally watched Tenet. Now, I'm not gonna go into great detail, but this was the one movie I was so excited for this year. And when it came out, it was in cinemas here, but it was a time where I felt very unsafe going to a cinema, and so I didn't watch it. I had to wait for it to be on Blu-ray, and so we watched it at home. And honestly, it was good because we had to rewind a couple of times to figure out what the hell's going on. But yeah, I was still happy to watch this movie after such a long time. So I feel like, yeah, this was just a very, very brief overview over my year. There were so many things that I'm happy about, that I was so lucky that worked out for me. And I know that not everyone was that lucky this year. And I just hope that we can, you know, leave this behind us somehow. And yeah, I just feel so privileged to be able to stay at home all the time and be safe and not be alone as well. So I still have my partner, I have my cat, and every now and again I can call colleagues and stuff. So yeah, I'm just so privileged this year. And I'm actually teaching a class right now about kind of class and health and COVID and how it all interconnects. So yeah, it is something that I wanna teach my students as well, help them to think about their privileges and also maybe where they're not privileged. So yeah, I hope that in one way or another you could collect some good memories in 2020, and I hope that 2021 will be the best year ever for you. And yeah, just good luck and stay healthy, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.